Hi there, it's Rachel back with the Shades of Orange. Today I thought it would be fun to do a bit of a library book haul, something I haven't done in quite a while, but I have quite a few books checked out right now. And I just thought it'd be fun to share, and this also kind of works as a TBR video since most of the books I read are from the library. All that being said, let's get started. First, I want to talk horror, and I got a manga from the library I'm very excited to read, and that is Shiver by Junji Ito. This is the same author who wrote Uzumaki, that spiral manga that I gushed about last year. And this is a collection of horror short stories all done in a manga style. I've heard great things about it, particularly Devin from the Indie Insomniac has just said rave things about this book, and I'm excited to check out more of his works. So by the time you're watching this, I might have already read this because I am pre-filming a tiny bit. It takes me a little bit of time to get things edited and up on my channel these days. And I'm planning on reading this with a subscriber who is become an online bookish friend. But very excited to check this one out, and I will definitely report back with some feedback. Next up is another horror book I'm really excited to get to, hopefully soon, and that is Colebrook by Tim Levin. And this is about a secret laboratory that is doing some experiments when a disease breaks out. And my understanding is that this is a zombie novel. It's supposed to be one of the good ones. And you know I love a good zombie novel, so I'm very excited for that reason. It's fairly large, but I'm hoping that it's gonna read quite quickly because zombie novels do tend to be a little bit more action-based. So if you've read this one, I'd love to know what you think of it, and I'll again be kind of letting you know as I get to these ones. Hopefully they'll be showing up in some recent read videos in the near future. And last for horror, I also have out Security by Gina Waldorf, and admittedly I'm kind of nervous to try this one. I realize that it has really low ratings on Goodreads, and I haven't really seen anyone say anything great about it. It's about a haunted hotel that is trying to open, and the story is kind of told in a unique way. It's told through the perspective of the cameras because someone or something is watching them. Cool premise, but I don't think I've heard good things about the execution, so I'm not sure I'm gonna get to this one. So let me know, good or bad, is this one worth my time right now? So might just return to the library if it's a dud. And I also have one thriller checked out from the library, and that is Silent Child by Sarah Denzel. This is about a woman who watched her young son drown in a river, or she believes so. However, 10 years later, she's trying to get past that when a young teenage boy shows up who is presumably her son, and just finding out what happened. It sounds like he actually was kidnapped. And as soon as you hear the word kidnapped, it's one of my bookish buzzwords. So this is the reason I got this book on my TBR, and I did request it. I think this one might be an indie published book. I'll have to find out, but I'm interested in seeing it for myself. I've been so hit or miss with thrillers lately, but I've really been trying to get back into the genre. So hopefully this one is a winner. And I have one science fiction novel checked out, and that is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I talked about this in my TBR for 2019. I've previously read her other book, Fledgling, and loved it, so I've been meaning to read more by her. And everyone recommends Kindred. I think it's her most popular book. I don't know a lot about the plot. I just understand that it's about a modern African-American woman who ends up going back in time to the time of slavery in the United States. And so it's kind of a cross between science fiction and historical fiction, which isn't something I read a lot of, but I really enjoyed her writing in Fledgling, so I'm hoping I'll enjoy it in this book as well. So like every other book I'm talking about, hopefully I'll get to this one soon. We'll see when that happens. And I also have two fantasy books checked out right now. The first one being Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. This is the next book in the Mistborn world that takes place after the original Mistborn trilogy. While I loved Mistborn so much, I've been hesitant to pick up the next books because my understanding is that these are a lot less epic, which is a lot of what I loved about that original trilogy. But I've kind of been looking for something just fun to pick up that's hopefully a little more lighthearted, so I'm hoping I just fall right back into the world and hopefully this one's a winner. So love to know your thoughts on people who have continued past the first trilogy, and yeah, I'll let you know if I read it. And finally, last book in this little library haul is a bit of a different one, and that is Sunshine by Robin McKinley, and this is an urban fantasy vampire novel. And I've heard just such good things about it. It's one of those books that is so beloved. People just get wrapped up in the story. And a lot of people say that it's a different kind of vampire story. I don't really know what they mean by that. I'm hoping it works for me. I tend to read more vampire horror than vampire fantasy. And vampires aren't really my favorite horror creature to begin with. But I wanted to give this one a try. Like I said, I've heard everyone gush about it, so I'm gonna try it out for myself if I get to it. So let me know, convince me if this is one I should pick up while I have it checked out right now. So those are all the books I currently have checked out for my library. Admittedly, my reading has gotten a lot slower lately, so I'm not promising to read all the books I showed you. So I actually want your help. Recommend me which books of the ones I showed you think I should prioritize, which ones would you like to see reviews of, and I'll hopefully get to those ones soon. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you again. Okay, bye-bye.